on the topic PPC, that is Production Planning and Control, and it is under your chapter 4 in the heading is Production and Process Planning. So in the previous lecture we have studied, we have tried to understand what is the meaning of production planning and control. It consists of the three words. One is production, second is planning, and third is control. So in this lecture, we will totally concentrate on studying the different aspects of PPC, and we will try to understand that how this topic is very important in any manufacturing organization. So, what is production first? So, production is a just a minute. Yeah, production, it is organized activity of converting raw material into the useful product. Uh, so we take the raw material and we convert it into a product by adding value to the raw material. So that process is known as production. So before starting the actual production, production planning is required. So that means how much, what you have to make, and how much you have to make, and how you have to make. So planning is done to anticipate the possible difficulties and to decide in advance how the production process will be carried out in the best and the economical way to satisfy the customer needs. Beforehand, we have to plan what we want to make, how much we want to make, how we will make, when we will make, what will be the quality, and at what cost and what time. Okay, so all these questions arise before the production starts. So we plan actually basically for production beforehand. Okay, pre-planning. Since only the planning of production is not sufficient, hence management has to take all the possible steps to see that the plans are worked out in a right fashion by the planning department, and the plans are adherent to the standards which is required. So in order to achieve this, the production activity is planned. So the ultimate aim of the production planning control is to produce the products of the right quantity in the right quality in the right quantity at the right time by using the best and the least expensive method. So it is a very comprehensive definition, and it covers each and every word which you have to remember. So first is the right quality. That means the product which we are going to make, it should be acceptable to the customer. That means it should be able to sell in the market. People should accept it, and it should be in the right quantity. We have committed to a customer that we will give you 100 items daily. So it has to be 100 items, not less than that, at the right time. So when we have committed the time, say after 2 weeks, so it should be at the right time. So there should not be any delay by using the best and the least expensive method. So by using the best means we have got number of resources in the form of man, material, and machines. So we have to make the best use of those resources and at the lowest minimum cost, so that the cost of the product is minimum and it is acceptable to the customer in the market. So I production is clear to आगे चलें. Should we go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Now, production planning and control, it can also be defined as the process of planning the production in advance. So this is what we have discussed. Setting the exact route of each item. That means the product will pass through the number of machines, number of the workstation. So we have to decide the route. So this is important. Fixing the starting and the finishing date of the each item. That means at right time, which we have discussed. So we have to plan in advance that when we will start the production and when it will be finished. To give the production orders to the different shops So in any manufacturing plants, there are different shops like production shop, like painting shop, like press shop, like assembly shop. So we have to give the orders to the different shops in time so that they can give the output in time and to set the progress of these products according to the order. So that means it involves all these things. So in a summary, we can say the process, or it is a process of planning the production in advance by setting the exact route of the each item and fixing starting and finishing date for each item, and also to ensure the production orders to the different shops in order to see the progress of the product according to the according to the preference of the orders, because it do happens that at a certain instance of time there are number of orders from the different customers. You understand it like this. Suppose we are a tire manufacturer. So we are getting order from the different supplier. The supplier may be the end user. So end users may be the car company people, end user may be the truck people, and end user may be the automobile two-wheeler, and maybe the bicycle people. So it depends upon what kind of product we are making. So at a particular instant of time, you may be having the different orders from the different customer. So you have to schedule or you have to route your order according to the preference of the different customers. Now, what is PPC? This is a universal definition which is accepted by everybody. The highest efficiency in production is obtained by manufacturing the required quality of the product, of the required quantity, at the required time, by the best and the cheapest method. So, in short, we can summarize that PPC is a tool to coordinate all the manufacturing activities in a production system. So, it is a very short and conclusive definition. Okay. Now, what are the objectives of PPC? So whenever we do some work, we have some objectives. So in the same way, we have some important objectives of production planning and control. First is to deliver the required goods in the required quantities to the customer in the required delivery schedule to achieve the maximum customer satisfaction at the minimum cost. So this is the first and foremost objective, produce the right quantity of the good in the of the right quality, and it is to be delivered at the scheduled time at the minimum cost. Second is to ensure the maximum utilization of the available resources. So available resources in any manufacturing organization is the manpower, the material, the machinery, the material handling machinery, and the facility. Okay, so we have to make the maximum utilization of the available resources. Third is to ensure the production of the quality products. So we have to use our manufacturing resources in such a way that we get the quality product. How we will get the quality product? That we have understood previously, that if we are going to control the quantity, if we are in the our process capabilities are good and our processes are under control. And next objective is to minimize the manufacturing time. So that means manufacturing time, or we also say the manufacturing cycle. It is the time period, the order you receive the order from the customer, and the time at which you supply the item to the customer. So it is total cycle time or lead time. But in the organization, you have the manufacturing cycle. So it is that way that you have received the dispatch from the planning people to start the production, and when you give the finished product to the store. So this is the manufacturing time which should be a minimum. Next objective is to maintain the optimum inventory level. Okay, so it sometimes it do happens that we manufacture according to the demand. Suppose a winter season is there, and it is a apparel factory and we are making the garments. So we know that in the winter season the demand is going to go high. So we sometimes we may not achieve our daily production level. So what we do, we overproduce and we keep on accumulating some stock. So that is that is known as the inventory. So inventory levels are decided, yes, you will understand in the last chapter, depending upon the demand. So we have to produce, neither we have to produce more nor we have to produce less. Because if we are overproducing, that means the inventory levels are high. So we will be blocking our money. And if we are underproducing, that means our inventory levels are low. So we will be losing the orders of the customer. Okay, so we will be losing the sale. And when we are losing the sale, we will lose the profit. And when we lose the profit, we will go in loss. So this is a very important objective. Then to maintain the flexibility in the manufacturing operation. So we have to choose our manufacturing operations in such a way that it is, it can be performed on number of machines. And suppose some machine goes, under maintenance or under repair, then we can immediately shift to some other machine, or we can change the process. Some alternate process can be used based on the available resources with us, so that the manufacturing is not hampered. Next is to coordinate between the labor and the machine and various supporting departments. So this is also a very important objective of PPC, that we have to coordinate between the different departments. That means between the labor and machine. If the labor says that this machine is not working properly, so we have to, coordinate with the maintenance department people in order to set that machine right, or in order to replace that machine. Next objective is to plan for plant capacities for future requirement. So, in order to plan for the plant capacity for the future requirement, suppose we have seen that in a particular season the production levels are not adequate, the demand was more, and we were not able to make the required quantity. So, we have to increase the plant capacity. That means we have to add more number of machines. So, this we have to plan in advance. So, this is a very important objective of the PPC. Next is to remove the bottleneck and at all the stages of production, and to solve the problems related to the production. Okay, so that means the daily day-to-day problems which are arising in the production. So we have to solve, the PPC people have to solve. Then to ensure the effective cost reduction and the cost control. So cost reduction के लिए we will adopt the value engineering and value analysis, and for the cost control we will try to reduce the number of rejects. We will try to put the processes under control and our process capabilities within the limits, so that the rejects are less and the cost is under control. Now, next is very important is what are the different phases of the PPC. So there are three important phases. You understand? First is the planning phase, second is the action phase, and third is the control phase. So this planning phase, it consists of the two subphases. So one is the prior planning and another is the active planning. So prior planning is done before the production is starting, and the active planning is during the production. Okay, and also before the production, but active planning we say, so it is during the production. Then we will, I think, study in the we will study here. So these are the functions of PPC. So these are the phases: planning phase, action phase, control phase, and these are the functions. So forecasting, order writing, product design. So this falls under the prior planning. Then process planning and routing, material control, tool control, loading and scheduling. It is in the active planning. Okay. Then there is a function, important function, dispatching. So this also we'll study one by one. Then there is a control phase. So it is having two surfaces. One is the progress reporting, another is the corrective action. So in the progress reporting, we process the data, and in corrective action, we expedite and the replan. So we will study in the future slides. Now, this is, you can say here, this is also a, functions of PPC, which I have told here. These are the functions. So here you can see these are the three phases: planning phase, action phase, control phase. So in the planning phase, two subphases: prior planning, active planning, forecasting, order writing, product design, process planning and routing, material control, tool control, loading and scheduling. And here in the action phase, we have dispatching, and in the control phase we have the progress reporting. So in this we have the data processing, and in the correction phase we have expediting and replanning. So now planning phase. So in the planning phase, if you remember this, so in the planning phase we have the prior planning and the active planning. So we will see here. So prior planning and active planning. So in the prior planning, we have forecasting. So what does it mean? Forecasting means we are going to discuss this as a single chapter. Next chapter to this chapter, that is chapter 5. We will be discussing what is forecasting. But here we can study in brief what is forecasting. So we will study each and every function. In the forecasting, we do the estimation of the type, quality, and the quantity of the future work. So we estimate what type of product we will make, what will be the quality, and what will be the quantity. So this is in forecasting. So we will be studying the different methods, different techniques, different types in the coming chapters. Second is the order writing. So order writing is a process in which we give authority to one or more person to undertake a particular job. So we authorize a person to start the job. Okay. Then product design. So product design is a collection of the information regarding the specification, bill of material, and drawing. So the product designer person will decide what type of product will do. The quantity will be, by the order writing people, and forecasting will decide the total, this thing, how much will be this thing. Then finding the most economical process of doing a work and deciding where and how work will be done. This is process planning and routing. Okay. So process planning means we will be deciding the most economical process of doing the work and deciding routing, deciding where and how the work will be done. Okay. So it will pass which route it will take. That means on which machine it will go. Then it involves the determining the requirement of control of material. So this is material control function. Then there is a tool control. So it involves determining the requirement of controlling of the tools. So different type of tools which are used, and so availability of those tools, and all the tools should be available, and they should be in good condition, and they should be available at the right time. Then comes the loading function. So loading is very important. Assignment of work to the manpower, machinery, etc. So we just assign. We say you will do this job, this machine will do this job, this machine will do this job. So loading. So we don't assign the time. We only assign the activity. Then next is the scheduling. So in the scheduling, it is also known as the time phasing of the loading. So what we do, we determine when and in what sequence work will be carried out. So it fixes the starting as well as the ending time for the job. So load scheduling is the time phasing of the loading. समझ में आ रहा है? Are you able to understand? Are you able to understand?
Yes, sir.
So next phase is the action phase. So in this action phase, action as the word suggests, action means we come into action. Once our planning is over, so now it is the time to start production. So that means action phase will start. So it is a transition
Yes, sir.
from the planning to the action phase. In this phase, the worker is ordered to start the work. So this is action phase. This exactly is called the dispatching function. So when we authorize the worker or authorize the department, okay, you can go ahead for the start of the production. So it is very important. So it is done after the complete planning is over and it is checked and rechecked. Okay. Now next is the control phase. So when the production is going on, so we have to control also. Only then the things will be in time. So in this we have progress reporting. Okay, two stages: progress reporting and data processing. So in the progress reporting, we record the data regarding the job process is collected, and it is interpreted with the present level of the performance. Okay, so what does it mean? We report, we go on recording the daily what is happening, how much was planned and how much we have achieved. So it is, we process the data and we interpret it. Okay, so we report the data, so we process the data. So this is the these are the two sub phases of the control phase, and it is corrective action, expediting, and replanning. It is a function, PPC function. So in the corrective action, take some action if the progress reporting indicates deviation of the plan from the originally set targets. So that means what? Suppose we have planned that by evening we will make 50 cars. Okay, but we see that we are able to make only 45. So that means we have to take some corrective action. Why it has happened? Okay, so how it has come? Because we have interpreted the data. Then for this, we will be doing the replanning of the whole affair, become essentially. So either we expedite means we chase the people. We will try to find out where are the problem and how they can be rectified. So we expedite the people. If the things are not improving, then we replan the things. Okay, so these are important functions of the corrective action: expediting, replan. Okay, so now I think if we come down here, so this diagram is clear to you. We have three phases, we have two sub phases, we have these functions. So action phase में we have dispatching, and in control phase we have the progress reporting, that is data processing is a function, expedite is a function, and replanning is a function. So in all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So 10, these 10 or 11 functions are important. So these are sometimes called as the commandments of PPC. Okay. Now, this slide shows a relationship of PPC, because PPC will be a department in the organization. Like we have different department, finance and engineering department, labor department, like that, the purchase department. So you see, PPC is like here. It is a centralized department. So there is a first department, engineering and maintenance planning. So it is a department which looks after the maintenance and the production of the total plant. So whenever some machine goes wrong or some tools are required or some machine is not working, so this department is dealing with the all those functions. Then there is a marketing or planning department, so which brings the order, okay, from the market, and we supply the information. Suppose some problems are there, then the PPC department will coordinate with this. So this is two-way coordination. Okay. Then quality planning is department is there. Then distribution planning is there. So all these departments will be coordinating with PPC. Then there is a manpower department. So that will also coordinate with the PPC, and PPC will coordinate with the manpower department. Finance and investment planning, because finance is very important. So finance department, what does it do? It arranges the finances for running the business. So it arranges from the market in the form of the share or debentures or some loans. Okay, and also it gives the money to the company to purchase the machinery, to purchase the land, to give the salary. So all these functions are being performed by the financial and the investment plan department. Then there is a material and procurement planning. So this material department, it plans how much things are to be produced, when are to be produced, from where they are produced, and what should be the inventory level. So you see, this way the PPC department keeps interaction with all the department, and all the departments are in touch with PPC. So you can say it is a very important department in any organization. Okay. Now, how planning process takes place. So planning can be divided into the three categories: short planning, intermediate planning, and long range planning. So short planning is we do for 1 to 90 days. Okay, that means from day 1 to 3 months. Then intermediate range planning we do for 3 to 12 months. It is also known as AP. That is the aggregate planning. Okay. And third is the long range planning. This we do for 1 to 5 years. So this is strategic planning. So this is a planning hierarchy you see. Short-term planning, 1 to 90 days. Aggregate planning is 3 to 12 months. And the strategic decisions, what plant we have to make, what expansion we have to do, what machines we are to purchase. All these things are in the strategic decision. Now in aggregate planning, how much manpower is to be implemented, which new machines are to be reshifted. So regarding this aggregate, so you know the aggregate. Aggregate means suppose we make a wall. So what aggregate we need? We need brick, we need cement, we need sand, we need mortar, we need the small stones, we need the coarse sand. So all the elements which are required for production, they comes under aggregate planning. Okay. Now next is what is aggregate planning? You can understand from here. The aggregate planning concentrate on scheduling the production, personal inventory level during the immediate term planning horizon, such as 3 to 12 months. Okay. Aggregate plans act as an interface between the strategic decision, which fixes the operation environment, and the short-term scheduling and control decision, which guides the firm's day-to-day operation. Aggregate planning typically focus on manipulating the several aspects of operation, aggregate production, inventory and personal level to minimize the cost on some planning horizon while satisfying the demand and the policy requirement. The objectives of AP or aggregate planning are to develop the plans which are feasible and optimal. So aggregate planning will be also of two types. One is the aggregate production planning, and another is the aggregate capacity planning. So aggregate production planning indicates the level of output. कितना level रखना है हमने, how much we have to produce daily. And aggregate capacity planning, how to achieve it. Aggregate capacity planning keeps the capacity utilization at the desired level and tests the feasibility of the plant output. So how we are going to achieve those production level? It is aggregate capacity planning. Okay. So aggregate planning strategy. So two type of strategies are adopted. One is pure strategy, another is a mixed strategy. What is pure strategy? Pure strategy is if the demand and supply, if the demand and supply uh, is regulated by any of the following strategy. That means either we utilize the inventory throughout the constant workforce, varying the size of workforce, subcontracting, that means we are giving the, if the production requirement is more, we can get it made from outside, making changes in the demand pattern. So this is a pure strategy which we adopt, and then mix in the mix strategy. If the demand and supply is regulated by a mixture of the strategy as mentioned, it is called mixed strategy. So that means we follow pure also. We mix all these strategies at a time. Okay. So these are the aggregate planning strategy. So I think it is enough for today. So in the next class, we will study some more aspects of the production planning and control. Okay, so we stop here.